So let's talk about the business of trading and running a stock market education company. And I thought this would be a good topic to dive into as I run a stock market education company. And I believe that there's some myths out there about people who teach in the stock market. Sometimes when you teach in the stock market, people either think you either don't trade, so that's why you teach, or some people swing so far to the other side and they feel like if you're making so much money in the stock market, why should you charge for teaching? Why don't you just give it away? And so there's these two kind of opposite ends of the spectrum. And then somewhere in the middle, there's this mindset of, this person maybe only wants to make money off me. And so I thought we just break down the business, specifically my business, how we got started, and share with you, what's in it for us and what's in it for you, pretty much. I'm going to pull back the curtains on my entire trading business. Now, in order to do that, I think we got to go all the way back to the beginning when I first started trading. So if you're not familiar with my story, just grew up poor from Detroit, Michigan, broke, and I was trying to figure out how to make some money. And when I was 18, took my graduation money and went to a well-known bank and said, hey, I want to be rich, opened my first investment account with $2,000. I come back 2 years later and they had lost $1,300 of my money. So that was my first experience with investing with an institution, going to the so-called professionals, the people who went to school for this. And basically, not only did I lose $1,300, but I felt like I lost 2 years of my life, because it was 2 years I was waiting, hoping, thinking it was going to be more money. And it was 2 years where I come back and it's no money. So I lost 2 years of, I wasn't looking for any other ways to make money because I thought I had found it. I wasn't researching anything else for 2 years because I thought this was it. I put the 2,000, I come back later and it should be worth more. And that was my first experience realizing that the professionals or the people who went to school for it or got a degree or a Series 6, 63, 7 license, that they weren't that much smarter than me, meaning they had the exact same stocks and stock market to pick from. And so if I could learn at least how to pick stocks and investments like they do, I could do. They didn't do that well anyway. So I thought I'll either do about the same, or it could be possible that I could beat them or I could produce a better return for myself. So fast forward, I took that $700 out, spent $200 on some gym shoes, took the other $500 and I invested it in Sprint PCS, the company I worked for at the time. Our stock was $5 a share and I bought 100 shares for $5. I was just trying to make $8. Should I say I was making $8 an hour, so $64 on a Saturday, $50 after you took the taxes out. So I was just trying to make my first $50 so I didn't have to work weekends. And I got really good at growing my account and making that $50 eventually. And I started to learn about patterns and reading stock patterns. And I thought, how can I get more money into the machine? And so I took that $10,000 student loan. I was going to school at the Mike Euler School of Business here, Detroit, Michigan, Wayne State. And I applied for a student loan because I had a scholarship and I knew that they would double pay the account and I would get the money back. So I took that $10,000 student loan, put it into the stock market, and I grew it to I think it was like $120,000 as a 21-year-old college student. And so we're getting to how we end up starting the business and why we are at where we're at. And I drop out of school. I'm full-time investing, full-time trading. I grow the account to about $250,000. So year 3, I was living off like $50,000. Year 3, I go in with $250,000 and I'm like, I'm going to buy a condo downtown Royal Oak and I'm going to pay cash for it. And so I risk $250,000 trying to make $500,000 and I lose it all. So I lose it all. I'm flat broke. I have to move back home into Detroit, bars on the windows, drugs, gangs in the neighborhood. So I had to move back home and I had to get a job. And so this is where the start of my YouTube journey began. because I was reading personal development books and I was listening to self-help tapes and stuff like that. And I remember, I think it was Jim Rome who said, like, take a picture of where you're at right now because you won't always be there. Document your life so you can look back on it, and what you thought was a tough time will be the time that actually made you or built your character. So I took it a step further. I had this crazy idea. I said, I am going to record myself making the money back. And I'm just going to post my trades on YouTube and I'm going to document my journey. And so I got a camera and I just started recording myself. I recorded when I had to sell all my stuff and move back home. I recorded myself moving back home. Now, some of those videos are in my personal archive. I'm still not ready to release those to the world. Maybe if they do a movie about me someday, I'll have the actual footage of moving back home and different things like that. But some stuff is still personal to me. And I don't post every single aspect of that time in my life because it's kind of a dark time. But I recorded everything. I didn't release everything. And so I started recording my trades and different things like that and sharing them on YouTube. So as I am rebuilding my account, rebuilding myself back up, I'm just documenting the journey, recording stocks I'm finding, what's going on in the market. And so I grow my account back to something like 100 grand. But what happened was when I was recording myself, I was at work at Verizon. So when I went to get a job, I had to get a job back at Verizon. And I'll never forget my buddy. I was talking to a couple of my coworkers, and my one guy was like, I was like, man, I'm trying to think of a name for my for like my blog, because that's what it was. It was just like a blog at that time. So I was trying to think of a name for my blog. I'm recording my trade and stuff like that. And somehow we landed on like the Brown Report. I think at first we were like Jason Brown reports. I was like, yeah. Then I think at that time Facebook was like the Facebook. And so that's when I was like, the Brown Report. And so I ended up getting on my phone right there on the sales floor. And I went to like GoDaddy or something. It was like, the Brown Report, is that name available? And it was. The Brown Report was available. So I just bought the domain name, The Brown Report. It's like, yeah, I'll start my blog. That's when blogging was big. So I was like, but it'll be a video blog. Like I'll have the videos of what I'm doing. So that's what happened. I bought The Brown Report, created the YouTube name, The Brown Report, and just started sharing my stock trading journey. What happened from that is people started to say like, how are you finding these trades? Why did you buy that stock? How did you know when to get in and get out? And then they started asking like, could you teach me? And I had never really thought about teaching people this stuff. I was just sharing my passion, my love for the industry. And so I thought, well, yeah, maybe I could teach people. And then I thought like, wow, that could be cool. Like if I actually could get paid to teach something that I love. Like I love the stock market, love talking about it. Are people willing to pay for this? And that was the first time that I thought, wow, because I was just giving the information away for free. And that was the first time that I thought, wow, people might actually be interested in paying me for this. And so everyone was like, I started doing these local seminars around Metro Detroit, in the library, out of Starbucks, out of Caribou Coffee. I was doing seminars at any place that would give me like a free room to do the seminar. Because again, I wasn't selling anything. I was just doing free seminars because I was just passionate about the stock market. And then I started to notice a couple things. You know, as I started to do the seminars, there would be different places who didn't have a projector. So then I ended up buying a projector. I wanted people to be comfortable. And so I started bringing like food. I would bring food to the seminars. And so I'm like, okay, this is starting to cost me money. I had to buy a projector. I'm starting to bring food. So then we just started saying, hey, how about we charge like $5, $10 just to kind of cover the food cost, the fact that I had to buy a projector. I would do little printouts and bring printouts for people. And so we started charging $5 or $10. After a while, people sometimes would show up, would not show up, and we would buy food, print stuff out. And now it's like, okay, I'm spending money and people didn't even show up. So now I'm losing money to do something that I'm just passionate about for free. And then people online, we're still like, hey, how can you teach us? And so I had this thought. I was like, okay, maybe I'll build this course and walk people through it, because I got tired of explaining one by one how it all works. So I said, maybe I'll just create a course and explain it one time and people could just watch it. And when I created the course, it was actually a live seminar I did at a library. And I just took it and chopped it up into a course and uploaded it. People were like, this sucks. I don't like the audio. You can barely hear. I can't really see what you're writing. And that was the first time that I thought, wow, okay, these people want a course. I gave them a course, but then they complained about it. And they complained about the quality. And so I'm like, once again, like, well, I like teaching. I want to help people. I want to make sure they have the best quality. But now I have to invest in a better camera. I had to invest in some screen sharing software that could capture my screen while I talk. And then I'm like, wow, now I need a better microphone, because when I walk around, I get away from the computer mic, so you couldn't hear that well. And so now I'm like, I need to get these wireless microphones that run up my shirt. Next thing you know, I'm investing thousands of dollars into this to help people, quote unquote, for free. And so that really started to lead me down the path where it's like, look, I'm willing to do better quality, but y'all gonna have to pay for it and help me out, because I'm buying equipment. I got to learn how to use the equipment. I'm taking time away from, my family, my fun, my free time, just to create this stuff. And so that's where the exchange for money kind of came in, where it's like, okay, I'm willing to do this, but at least let's make it worth my time, and at the bare minimum, not lose any money doing this. So I remember buying this microphone, upgrading the computer, getting the screen recording software. Then I'm like, I got to find somewhere to host the videos. I remember doing all this stuff, and I created this course, which is actually my signature course today, which is Foundations. And I've re-recorded it many times since. But I remember releasing the course, and even to my friends and family, was like, yeah, I'd love to learn what you're doing. And I released this course, and I released it at 50% off. And at that time, it was like $100 course. I released it at 50% off. It was like $50. And I'm like, here it is. Here's the course, better visuals, better audio, everything. And I'm telling you, it was crickets. Like, nobody bought the course. Okay. And so that was a little deflating to me. I was like, wow, did I just get hoodwinked? All these people said if I had better audio, better visuals, they could hear, see, they would, buy the course. And nobody bought the course. And so I knew I had this really great course, and I had these people asking for it. So I just had to figure out how to communicate to them that the quality of the course and what they would learn. And once I eventually figured that out, people started buying the course. So once people started buying the course, people would start to say, it was about stocks, fundamental research, technical analysis. But I was talking about options, and people were like, well, how do you do options? Because I see that you trade options. And so I'm like, well, in order to understand options, you got to understand the foundation. So that's why that course became Foundations. And I was like, well, now that people are buying the Foundations course, maybe I should take time to record the options course. And so that's what made me create Options Explained. I'm like, let me explain how options works. So it became Options Explained, where I was like, here's how it works. And then as people started to take Options Explained, people, when I say people, I mean people from my YouTube channel, people from my local seminars, they started to say, well, how can we follow the trades that you're in? Like the trades you post, we hear about them after the fact. How can we follow the trades that you're in? And I said, I didn't know that people would like to follow my trades. And so I started a membership. I said, well, I have to get hosting. I got to figure out how to get you the trades and this and that. And in fact, actually, I didn't start a membership. What I started was a Facebook group. And I said, all right, I'll post them in this Facebook group. And then I needed like an account manager. I needed some help with some support, because we were getting a lot of emails. People wanted to be part of the Facebook group. And so I'm like, oh my goodness, I have to hire somebody. And so you can see it's starting to snowball into a business by mistake. Like I never woke up and was like, how can I make money off teaching people off the stock market? It was really always driven by you. It was always driven by my passion to help people and what you told me you needed next. And so I had a Facebook group where I would record the videos and share my trades inside the Facebook group. And we needed kind of an area where we could have some community and talk and go back and forth. Well, then what started happening is people would say, like, I like what you're doing. I want to be a part of it, but I hate Facebook. Or they're like, I don't want a Facebook profile. I don't want friends and people finding me and stuff like that. So we ran into a new problem where people were like, I like it. I want to be part of it, but I don't like doing it on Facebook. And so I'm like, oh man, like, I don't know. What do you do? People don't want to be on Facebook. So then I started to research, how do you build a membership site? So I'm like, how do I build a membership site where it's like, it don't matter if they use Facebook or not. They could be a part of this regardless if they use social media. Then how do I protect the information? How do I take payments online? How do I put it in a community where, I was just trying to figure out this whole community thing. How do I take payments? How do I post it? What video hosting platform? And that took me down a whole nother direction. And also it took me down a whole nother direction with costs. This stuff costs money. They don't just give you a hosting platform and membership software for free. And so as I started to figure that out, I said, okay, here it is. I figured it out. I built the membership platform. You don't have to have Facebook. It's our own little corner or community of the stock trading world. And so people started to join. And so as people started to join, they now had the foundations course, they had the options explained course, and now they had the ability to watch me find trades live. Because it's like, we want to see your process. Well, first they wanted to just see my trades. Then it went from, how do you find, like, I want to see exactly your process that you go through. So then I thought, okay, I'll look for these trades every Monday night for myself to get ready for the week. So it then turned into me looking for trades every Monday night live. Like, how about I let you join, watch me live. You can ask questions. You can see what I find, what I like, what I don't like. And people would join and watch live. And so before you know it, I have 2 courses. I built out a membership site so that people can watch and join live and have a place where they didn't have to have Facebook to join. Keep in mind, all this costs money. I had to hire my first employee now because I needed support and customer service and stuff like that. And so next thing you know, I have a business by mistake, right? I basically have a business by mistake. And I'm like, wow, this is actually kind of fun. I never thought that I could get paid to live and do what I'm passionate about, which is talk about the stock market and help people trade. And so that's how we got into this whole business. And then it kept evolving. And so people would say, like, how are you doing these advanced option strategies, the iron condors, the earning strategies? And so that led into me teaching what's called advanced options. And then people would say, I see all these symbols on your chart. What do they mean? And I was like, well, that's MACD. And they're like, what's MACD? And then it's like, well, then there's the moving averages. And what happens is, as new people join, they start asking the same questions. And I was using the Monday night session to look for trades. And then I started explaining what all these symbols were. And I thought, and then people was like, wait a minute. Every time someone new comes in, you keep re-explaining the same stuff. And so I thought, okay, now I have to make a course about advanced technical analysis, advanced options. And so it just became a course of feedback where I'm like, okay, how about I make the courses so people can go watch the courses, learn at any time. And then when they come in here to the live sessions, they're just ready to go. They're ready to rock and roll. And I'm not stopping and going back and explaining. I'm just looking for the trades, finding out what are we buying and selling for this week. And they already know how to apply the correct strategy. And so that's how the courses were born. Then something unique happened. There started to be people who had, I like to call it big money. So some people who had some decent amount of money, I'm talking $100,000, $1 million trading accounts. It's like, I like what you're doing. I love the trades. I've actually made some money off this stuff. So you have no idea the people who are joining your community. You just see a name and an email address, right? You don't really know who these people are. But unbeknownst to me, people who had a couple dollars, I was starting to get on their radar. And they're like, I like what you're doing. I like the trades. I like the investments. How can I work more closely with you? Because some of the people in the group are beginners. Some of the people ask, beginner questions. They like, we passed that. And I thought, this is interesting. And so I had to evaluate, what would it be like to work with me directly? What would I need to take away from the rest of the group, take away from my family, take away from my personal time to just work with people very closely? And so I had the idea of, why don't I start I'm like, well, these are kind of like the elite traders. And so that's what led me to start my elite mastermind. Now, elite is a $20,000 a year mastermind, and we pretty much fill it up every time we open it. And it's my mastermind where I work with a small group of people, typically 10 to 15 people, who really want that direct attention, that direct access to me, who want me to help them put together a personalized game plan. We go through software scans, all kind of unique stuff with respect to the stock market. And some of those folks have had some unique results. I'm talking making $50,000, $100,000 or more as a result of working with me. But I never woke up and just said, how can I charge people $20,000 a year? What I said was, it was, again, that feedback loop. People said, I want to work with you. What's it going to take? I had to sit down and say, okay, what's it going to take for me to take away from the rest of the group? I have to build out a separate area. I also give you direct access to me, meaning you can shoot me a message if you're in a trade or if you're looking at something, if you just want some feedback. And I really mapped it out and was like, it really only comes down to like $1,800 a month. And so my value proposition was, can I help you make $1,800 a month if you got a $100,000 account, $50,000 account? Sometimes people are in there with a $25,000 to $40,000 account, but if you got that much money, can I help you make $1,800 a month to at least break even and cover the cost? And you get all the knowledge, you get the direct access to me, you get a separate group of people to work with who may not necessarily be asking the super beginner questions. And we've also had beginners join who just like, I want to go straight to the top. I want to come out the gate working directly with you, learn this the right way. But it's just more of a curated program. And so that was born out of a need in the marketplace for people who wanted more exclusivity, who wanted more direct access. Now, fast forward, this is all online, all 100% online. And so the community started to say, Jason Brown, we would love to get together in person. When are you coming to California? When are you going to be in this area next time? We'd love to do a meetup. And then certain people started saying, hey, I'm in this area. Why don't we all meet up? And I thought, wow, the community wants to get together. And so we said, hey, what if we threw a live event for all of our community? And me and my team was like, yeah, why don't we do it? And so we started researching venues, researching costs, researching what would it take to put on an epic event. And sure enough, we did it. We pulled off Power Trades Live. We call it PTU Live. We did our first live event, and it was just so epic, so special, where we came together. We taught for 2 days. We did happy hour. We went to a virtual golf simulator. We rented out the whole place for our members. We had food, appetizers. We just epic event. We printed books, manuals to go through for the 2 days. We broke down margin, trading, personal development, all mindset. We really had some incredible breakthroughs. But that event was born out of the community saying, we want to get together. And so we never really sat down and just said, how can we throw an event and charge people the most money? We said, what does it cost to get the videographer there, to get the mics, to rent the room, to provide an epic experience and put it together, which is why we're doing our second event, Power Trades University Live, which is going to be coming up here in a few months. Depending on when you're listening to this recording, PTU Live is going to be June 23rd, 24th, and let me just check before I say the wrong dates. But yeah, 24th and 25th, but 23rd, 24th, 25th, 2024 is when we're having our second live event. But that was born out of people saying, we want to get together, we want to network, we want to be in person. And at that event, a little bit before that event, I noticed something because we've been running our elite mastermind for about 3 years now, the $20,000 mastermind. And my goal was always, I've always had a heart of helping people. And there were some people who was like, gosh, I really need the additional help, but I don't have $20,000. I do have, $6,000 to $10,000 for coaching. I'm like, well, it's just, I can't do it for that price point. It wouldn't be fair to the people who are already in elite. Plus, it just doesn't work out for me at that price point. And so I started thinking people need more help, more coaching. So I said, what if I brought on another coach? And sure enough, I brought on another coach, someone I trusted who had been in the industry, who had done some coaching before in the stock market, who kind of grew up in the industry. And so I brought on another coach for our members, but coaches don't just work for free, right? And so again, that's cost that comes out of my pocket. And so we said, what could we do to also give people the additional coaching, but give them that a similar experience to where they get to work with someone one-on-one, personalized game plan, a little bit more intimate, but it's not me. And so from that, we end up launching what's called our next level, which is where you get to work with one of the coaches in our business who can work with you, walk you through trades, help you through the program, help you through foundations, help you through option explain, make sure you're understanding the information correctly. And then you also get a smaller group from the regular group. And then what we did for our elite members is we just said, now you get two coaches. You get me, and you can also tap into all of the next level access and events of working with the other coach. And so now we just created extra value for our elite members, but we don't charge them anymore. And then we also created this new program for people who weren't ready or couldn't afford elite to be in next level and still get the support that they need. So what I want you to take away from this is me and my team are constantly taking the feedback from the community and saying, how can we be of service? Not how can we make more money? How can we be of service? How can we help people? And how can we give them what they need? And sometimes that has a cost associated to it. And so that's my entire business model. In fact, I did leave out one other portion of my business model. Members started saying, hey, we'd love to get these alerts or text alerts when you're going into these trades or when you find these trades. And so we thought, yeah, why don't we send out text alerts? And so we started researching and building out a text. Well, we didn't build out a text platform. We purchased a text platform, and now we send text alerts. Then we had some people who said like, well, I already know how to trade. I just want your text alerts. And so we like, wow, we never really just sold our text alerts or our trade alerts because I didn't want to be a stock picker. I wanted to make sure that people who were trading this stuff actually understood it. So I always made you go through the education in order to get my trades. But then we thought, well, there are people who already know how to trade. So what if we just sold our text alerts, which we kind of created that inside of our 5-year millionaire program. Say, hey, you just want our text alerts, you just want our trade alerts, here you go. And so that program was created out of people who just wanted the text alerts. And the 5-year millionaire program was created because people was like, I don't have time to trade all day. I don't have time to look at it all day. And so we said, what if you just took 1 to 2 trades a month that gave you a 10% return? If you could do that for 5 years, you'd be a millionaire at the end of year 5. Now, what's interesting is all the people who said they have patience, discipline, and just want the text alerts. What I find interesting is that those people then are like, I want more text. I want more trades. And so it's almost like some of them become gamblers and they've like not even following the plan, which is to just make 10% return every single month and at the end of 5 years be a millionaire. Why am I bringing that up? Because sometimes people don't really know what they want. They might say they want one thing, but then they really want something else. And it's like, no, I only want 1 trade, 2 trades a month. Then it's like, you're not sending enough trades. It's like, okay, which one is it? But anyway, as we wrap this up, I just want you to know we're listening. My team is listening. We hear you. And everything that we've done has been to help you, the little guy, the retail trader, the individual that's sitting at home wondering, can I do this? Can I make this happen for me? And so here's what I want to do. I want to give you my number that you can text, which is 313 251 2260. If you're interested in any of our programs, but specifically Elite or Next Level, because we're actually going to get ready to open up Elite and Next Level again in the May-June 2024 timeframe. And so if you want more information, I want to get on the wait list to see if that is something for you. And by the way, it's an interview process. It's not just a, hey, I just want to join. We actually have to interview you, understand your goals, your dreams, your trading style, and if we're a match, especially at that price point, and if I'm going to work with you for the entire year, or if one of my coaches is going to work with you for 6 to 12 months. But if you want to know more about that process, you can text the word ELITE for the Elite program to 313-251-2260. And you can text the word Next Level to 313-251-2260. And if you're interested in any of the other programs, you can just say, hey, I want to learn about the other programs, but specifically Elite, which is my $20,000 a year mastermind, or Next Level, which is our it's our 6 to 12 month advanced coaching program. Send us a text. Let's have a conversation. But I just wanted to break down the business model so that you could at least understand why people like myself who teach. I can't speak for anybody else who teach. I don't know if they got a custom platform and if they've thought through the entire process like we have. But at least my hope for this episode is that you walk away with a different understanding of how at least I created my business, at least why I teach the stock market, and also why I charge for this, because there's costs associated with it to have employees, software, technology to get you the best audio, best video, to get you these text alerts, have a private place to be able to communicate without it being on Facebook. All that stuff has a cost to it. And then most importantly, my time, our time is worth something for us to take away from our regular life, our family, to try to help people. And so I just hope that this episode gave you a little bit more insight into Power Trades University, Jason Brown and the Brown Report, our coaches, our business model, so that you can feel good about why you decided to do business with us if you do business with us, or you can make a decision if we're someone you want to do business with and feel proud about that. I really want to start a movement where people are proud to pay. They're proud to invest in the knowledge and education. They're proud to be a part of Power Trades University because they know that we only put out stuff that we're proud of to try to help you. So let me know in the comments if you fully or have a better understanding of our business model. And yeah, I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.